Strictly Sickly is a medical-related talk show. While informed, we are not medical doctors. Any advice given on this show should not be substituted for a professional medical opinion. Always consult your physician before making any changes to treatments or routines.
Hey, this is Strictly Sickly, and I'm Sarah Hatfield. With me today is Kristen.
Hello.
And we're talking about, stuff.
The spoon theory.
Spoon theory.
And unwelcome advice.
Unwelcome advice.
Gosh, wake up, Sarah.
I've been awake for like an hour and a half. I'm getting with it. It'll take me a minute. But, yeah, and I was just going to read off spoon theory because I was trying to explain it to my grandma the other day because my dad had asked about the podcast, and I was just not explaining it well. I was like, you have some spoons, and you have to spin spoons to do stuff.
And then you run out of spoons, and then you got to wait till you get more spoons.
Yeah.
Well, then read it off. It'll be a perfectly good explanation.
The spoon theory is a disability metaphor, a combination of ego depletion, fatigue, and a word I can't pronounce, used to explain the reduced amount of mental and physical energy available for activities of living and productive tasks that may result from disability or chronic illness. Spoons are a visual representation used as a unit of measure in order to quantify how much energy a person has throughout a given day. Each activity requires a given number of spoons, which will then be replaced as a person recharges through rest. A person who runs out of spoons has no choice but to rest until their spoons are replenished.
Yeah. There's the technical definition.
Yeah. And then it's got, like, graphs for a shower is 3 spoons. Going to the doctor is 4 spoons. And
it really depends on the person, too.
Yeah, and I think the general allotment that they give for this metaphor is like 12 spoons a day.
Mm-hmm.
And things like work, shopping, things that are difficult are 4, down to like 1, getting out of bed, getting dressed.
But getting out of bed should be 10 of those spoons.
I think getting out of bed is, getting dressed is at least 2.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, they even have stuff like watching TV, surfing the internet, things that you don't think take any energy, but
they do.
Actually sap your energy if that's what you do all day.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think everybody starts with 12 spoons, and I don't think it's even on any given day.
Mm-mm.
And that's why, I mean, you looked up some other of the theories, right?
Yeah. Well, there was a lot of them. Some of them were more nerd things. There's like spell slots for D&D. You run out of spell slots, you can't cast any spells. And then you have mana from Magic the Gathering, so that you can't play any of your cards because you don't have any mana on the field, and you have to wait until you get more mana. And then there's people who talk about it in money, where they only have so much money during the day, and they spend $1 here and $5 here to do stuff, and then they run out of money. So there's all kinds of different metaphors for it, but it's all the same basic premise. But for everybody, it would be a different amount that you spend on each activity, how many you start with. So
and someone said this is actually better, the spell slot one from D&D, because taking a shower is like a 2nd level task, whereas making an important phone call is 5th. If you're at a 5th level task, you can't do the phone call. However, you can expend higher level slots to take a shower if you've already spent your lower slot. So, but I'm not sure, too, about the whole being able to sleep and recover them thing.
Yeah, sometimes that does not work.
and you can't save it up.
Yeah.
Like, I've made jokes before about, I'm going to sleep extra and save up spoons.
No.
But that's not how that works.
You might wake up with only 3 spoons because you wasted all of it on dreams. Who knows?
It's good to use a metaphor, though, because it's hard to explain to people. Like, especially if I go out and do something fun. If you're like, well, if you're that sick, how are you able to go do something fun? Well, because I wanted to spend my energy on it. As I spent my energy on that, and then I did nothing else.
I'm going to be wrecked the rest of the day, maybe the rest of the week from it, but I had fun at the time. It's like our people who said if you go out and into the sun and exercise or whatever, and during that point in time, it is awesome. And then afterward, you are wrecked forever because you have used up all of your mana or your spell slots and it's just,
Well, and some people getting out doesn't make them feel better at all, but I like hiking and stuff. That's something that, makes me feel good. So it's good, but like you said, it does wreck me. But some people don't like going outside, so
Yeah.
you suggesting that, really useless.
Yeah.
Um,
But yeah, I think using the spoon theory, I mean, it's everybody, isn't it just kind of a big term? Everyone's called a spoonie.
yeah, it's become the
catch-all
the
term.
accepted metaphor.
Is that like knifey spoony?
He's not on the floor. Our producer is sitting in a chair
He has his own little tiny desk now. I don't know.
The producer.
where he stalks us. He was on the floor last time, but I think we've upgraded to chair.
Slight upgrade.
But I have started using the spoon theory in mental health stuff too, because people totally gloss over that.
Yeah.
Like, I was having anxiety. Now I'm useless for the rest of the day.
Yeah, it'd be, I mean, just for some people, if you're an introvert, talking to people is exhausting. So you'd say I used up 5 spoons just talking to somebody today. So
Yeah.
I'm out of people today. I can't people anymore.
Yeah, going to work uses up about 80% of mine
Yeah.
for the day.
That's completely understandable. I also work with the public, and so it uses all the spoons, and I hate them.
Any job where you have to deal with customers is just
gosh.
trash.
It's trash. I work in retail. Kill me now.
I've been reading Reddit forums, Tales from Retail. It's just all the awful stuff that happens
Yeah.
to people. Like, I believe all of these.
Yeah,
Customers are just awful.
they are. They're the worst people.
But they're always right.
No, they're never right. You can't read a sign. You clearly are not right.
But yeah, the spoon fairy thing has become the accepted term. Like, I'm out of spoons. If I go into any chronic illness group and I say that, they all know what I mean.
Yeah.
They all get it.
Hey, Kristen, push the mic away from me a little bit. You're rubbing on it. There you go.
Better?
Yep.
Okay. But yeah, I know for everybody it would be different. So for you, just basic household chores or whatever, how many spoons do you think each thing takes? It's like doing dishes and laundry and
All of them.
all the spoons for every single thing.
I hate cleaning so much that I think that takes more, because it doesn't just stress me physically, it makes me depressed and anxious.
Oh.
So that probably depending on the chore, 4 and up spoons.
Dang.
I'd say doing dishes is the least spoon intensive and vacuuming is the most.
That's weird.
So if
I don't like
cleaning
the sound
takes
of the
up 4
vacuum.
spoons, what's the total number of spoons you start with?
Well, the thing I was reading, it allocates 12, which I guess would be an average day when you're not having a
Flare up
a
or
flare.
Who makes up these arbitrary numbers? This is like the same person that did the metric and the standard system.
Well, the original story behind this theory is that a girl was having lunch with a friend and she was just having a hard time explaining to her why she could do some things, why she couldn't do others, what it took for her to do these things. And, they had silverware around, so they used that.
Ooh.
And I guess that's how many spoons she had near her was 12. I don't know.
What are you eating that you have 12 spoons?
I'm assuming she stole some off other tables.
Just soup after soup after soup.
But, because I would think if you're, okay, so how many things do you do in a day? Let's say you got work.
Okay, so you gotta wake up, you gotta get dressed, well, you gotta shower, then you gotta get dressed, and then you gotta drive, which for me doesn't take anything, but then you gotta, walk into the work, and then you got, mental things you gotta do. I don't know. I feel like it costs a lot of spoons just to get to work.
Yeah, I feel like you went into negative spoons already.
I know, and then
getting up is a spoon, showering's 2 spoons.
getting dressed is another spoon.
Eating breakfast, we'll call that 2. If you eat breakfast, but
We'll say that I do. There's another 2.
or stop and get a snack or
Yeah.
a coffee. I don't know. Driving, we'll just call that 1.
And then you gotta walk in, and I work in a mall, so I gotta walk through a crowd of people.
I'm
to
call
get
that
there.
3 spoons.
That's 3. And then, I got the physical stuff of the vacuuming
You're
and the
already at
cleaning
12.
and the paperwork. And then the first time a customer comes up and says, hi, that's 10 spoons. And
So if you only get 12, you ran out of spoons by 10 a.m.
yeah.
Now you can't clean your house, you can't cook dinner, you can't eat, you can't do anything.
No.
You're just stuck at work.
Which is why when I come home from work, if there's anything that needs to be done, like dishes or trash or whatever, I have to wait until it's a day off, because if I come home from work, I cannot do any of those other things, I'm just out. I can't.
Yeah. Dane says I have a word I can't pronounce. So anything that takes any amount of bending or moving uses all my spoons at once.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to think of some.
I feel like I should design an app for your phone, like a spoon app.
Just see how many you use in a day.
Every time you use a spoon during the day, you can like click it and it takes away a spoon. And it updates your status on Facebook or whatever, so your friends already know how
You've only got 3 spoons left.
Well, because occasionally it'll be like I have a different schedule than everybody else because I don't work, and someone will text me, at some point during the night, and I just don't even look at it because I'm out of spoons. I don't even have the spoons to go. I don't have any.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to me tomorrow. Like they're non-existent.
I mean, there have been times that I messaged you and your response back was something like, I can't today. Can we tomorrow? I'm just, okay.
Yeah, I do that with people that I think are going to get it.
Yeah.
But sometimes I just don't. I've taken to not even looking at the message so I don't forget it. So it keeps it unread. But I was trying to think of this stuff. I
also find it interesting, at least for me, there's certain people like that don't tax me. Like social-wise or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like you cost no spoons because I'm just used to you.
Mm-hmm.
But, talking to, like, people at a convention or online or something like that,
Yeah.
might require spoons while somebody else doesn't. So not everybody in tasks aren't created equally, even though they might be the same task.
Mm-hmm. Like, for me, vacuuming takes maybe 1 spoon. And you said it'd take you 4. So.
I don't like the noise of the vacuum.
Oh.
And then certain people on different days take different amounts of spoons. My daughter, some days, she needs no spoons.
Yeah, just wake up already done.
Some days it doesn't take any effort to deal. Some days it takes all the spoons.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of depends on what kind of day she's having, too.
Yeah.
But yeah, most of my close friends don't take very much spoons as long as we're just sitting around.
Yeah,
But
just kind of hanging out.
people I don't know take all the spoons.
Yeah. My spine is missing pieces, so my discs are just freewheeling. Oh, lovely. That sounds awesome.
She's an invertebrate.
That sucks.
I learned about you in school.
Invertebrates.
Yeah, we made dioramas.
Ah, nice.
You belong in a shoebox.
Poor Dane.
But I was trying to think of all this stuff. I like, even though I don't work, getting up, trying to make kids go to school.
Oh, God, that probably takes all the spoons alone.
It's just, I've noticed lately that getting up to brush my teeth
Mm-hmm.
is taking a ridiculous amount of spoons. It's like, I'm sad I don't have a bathroom closer to my bed, because that would make things much easier.
At least a sink, like a vanity in there,
Yeah.
would be fine.
I mean, I often don't eat for most of the day either, just because I don't have the energy to get up and
Walk to the kitchen and
walk
make
to the kitchen,
it.
put something in the microwave. And then when the kids get home, they want to be fed and they want to talk about their day, and I want to ask about their day. And it just, and the thing about when I worked is it edited a lot of that stuff out, I think. So my spoons were going in a different direction. Because, if I'm working 8 hours a day, I'm not dealing with kids when they get home from school, when they go to school, which going to school is way worse. 'Cause
Yeah.
they both hate school.
School's terrible.
Yeah, they rebel. Andrew tried to tell us he puked the other day, but he did not puke.
I can't go.
I threw up. He was lying.
Mm-hmm.
Other people vacuuming take spoons from me.
Oh, Dane says her bathroom is 3 floors up. Ugh.
Even working a desk job or even working from home takes a lot of spoons.
Yeah. It takes all my spoons to write a sentence now, so, I mean, that's...
People watching me clean takes up my spoons.
Stop watching me.
For me, some jobs, for some reason, the Amazon job, even though it was super physically intensive, was less spoons than if I had to sit at a desk all day.
Maybe it's because you were really independent and you just kind of did your own thing.
Yeah, and I was outside, and I don't like being inside all the time.
And you got to drive, and you like driving, so it's kind of a good combination for you.
She also likes wrecking mirrors on the sides of delivery vehicles.
That was an accident.
So how do you know that you're running out of spoons then? Like, what's the tell that shows you I can't do anything anymore, I've run out of spoons?
Sheer physical exhaustion and pain. Or not being able to control my mental state. What about you?
About the same, yeah. I realize I'm out of spoons when thinking about walking 1 foot is too much. I'm like, okay, I must be out because I can't do anything anymore.
I should have known I was about to have a flare, because for weeks now I haven't had any spoons, and I've been like, well, is it because of the hormone stuff? Am I depressed? Which all could be.
Could be a combination.
That my joints started to hurt and I started to get nauseous, and I was like, oh, there it is. That explains so much.
There's the flare.
But
do you think that you replenish with every sleep?
No. I think it depends too. Like, I don't know, how often do you sleep well?
God.
Yeah.
1 out of every 20 nights, maybe.
See, I'd say on a night when I actually sleep good, which is super rare, maybe, yeah, I feel better the next day.
Yeah. Unless you sleep too much and then you just feel crap.
I think it replenishes some. I don't think it replenishes all.
Yeah.
And
kind of like you started with 12, and then ever since then you've kind of been working with 8. And then the sicker you get, the less spoons, and eventually you're just going to only have 1 spoon for the day, and then you die.
And then you use that to go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
Sleep is such an issue for me too, because like, what about the weeks when I don't sleep at all?
Yeah. Well, you're just up with insomnia forever.
Yeah. There's pretty frequently I go at least 3 nights without sleep, so I'm definitely not replenishing any spoons.
Yeah.
Not even close.
And I try to think about a healthy person, somebody who doesn't really have any physical or mental ailments. Like, how many spoons do they start with? Do they use all their spoons throughout the day, or did they always have some in reserve? Did they go to bed with still having 7 spoons? I mean,
I don't know. I am curious about that, though. How much spoons would a normal person get?
Yeah.
And what would it cost for them to use them as compared?
I got yelled at for saying normal, remember?
Oh.
Anyway, typical. Not normal. Because, I don't know, it seems like being chronically ill is...
It's kind of our normal.
Well, and the normal for a lot of people. Yeah. It's pretty common.
It's just because minorities stick together.
Yeah.
Is that it?
I don't even know if we're a minority anymore. It seems like everyone is sick.
Yeah.
Nobody can afford to go to a doctor.
You will be once we get that wall built.
We're all not able to afford doctors, so we all just get sicker and sicker.
Yeah. Well, that's another post I saw, that being poor is more expensive. Because, I can't get this taken care of at the doctor now. Oh, the situation compounds. It's even more expensive.
Yeah, I think it was you. It was something they said, I can't get this tooth pulled now, so I'll just have to pay for a root canal later. And so, yeah, that's pretty much how it is.
I can't afford good shoes, so now I have to pay for back problems.
Yeah. Lovely, fun stuff.
Yeah. And, being chronically ill makes you poor.
Yeah.
It's a vicious circle.
Vicious. No one cares, though.
The other topic we had today, because we didn't figure spoon theory would take up all our time, is
unwelcome advice
and condescending people.
Yeah, because there's a lot of that out there. Thank you.
So, what unwelcome advice or condescension have you read? Like
all the things.
Like, I'm trying to think of a few. Like Allie, I know, has some good ones. Just go outside, you'll feel better. It can't possibly be that bad. Those are 2 of my favorite ones.
Can't possibly. And then, of course, there's the, have you tried Tylenol? Have you tried ibuprofen? Have you tried a diet? Have you tried
this herb? Have you tried this herb?
Have you tried these crystals? I mean,
have you tried this essential oil?
It doesn't stop. And yeah, there's the, have you tried exercising? Like, oh, okay, because it doesn't hurt me to exercise.
And that's not exactly something that kicks in immediately. I used to jog, and I did that for months, and I still did not feel any better.
Yeah.
In fact, I'm pretty sure I wrecked my knees.
And there was the day that we did go out, we went hiking, and during the hike, it was awesome. Nothing hurt. It was great. I was having a ball. We got home, and then I was dead because out of spoons.
Yeah. And I think part of that problem is you end up using more spoons than you had because you're focused on something else. You're having a good time, so you're not paying attention to the
reserve.
Yeah,
to going down.
The battery level dropping.
Yeah,
you're kind of paying attention to something else.
Oh, there's another one. Battery
life. Yeah. But I know one of the ones we were talking about before the show started was a female issue. Was periods. And how a lot of people seem to think that endometriosis and PCOS
are just bad periods.
Just bad periods.
And that periods aren't that bad. So a bad period can't be that bad. And so,
which is just categorically untrue.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not sure if I've ever had what someone would call a normal period.
Yeah. Maybe once or twice when I was a kid, maybe. But ever since then, they've never been normal.
Allie wants to know if her comments are popping up, so I don't know, make a comment. I'm a bridesmaid in 2 weddings right now. One bridal party is full of LGBT chronically ill people, and the other is the others. I have never felt so isolated, and we have been friends for years, both the bride and the groom.
Yeah, once you kind of fit into another category, it's really hard to hang with people who aren't chronically ill because they want to go out and do stuff, and you can't.
Yeah, and they don't get it.
They don't understand, and then they do the condescension.
Yeah, they want to give helpful advice.
Yeah.
And
have you tried a massage?
I know they're trying.
Massages are awesome.
No, I hate massages.
They're magical.
I've had one, and I hated it.
Sarah thought she hated him, too.
Ugh.
I still don't like randos touching me. But
I went to massage therapy school and had people touch me there all the time. It didn't bother me. But I went to an actual massage place once, and I was like, don't ever touch me again.
No, that was church camp.
Uncle Bobby? Gosh.
Well, that just went off the rails.
It always does. So, yeah, there's a lot of unwelcome advice out there. And it's okay, if you ask somebody for advice, what should I do? And then they give you advice. That's one thing. But it's always people who you say, I'm too sick, I've been hurting, and I'm out of pain pills. And they go, well, have you tried doing Pilates?
Oh, my God.
Your advice was not... I didn't ask for your advice, and your advice is dumb.
Crap. My brain just went AWOL.
Did you run out of spoons already?
Yeah, a bunch of people, they want to be helpful because they'll come up with, I have a friend who has this. This is what they did, and that helped them.
Yeah. Not everyone's the same.
Which is, around about the second year, I was really sick. Like, I've been chronically ill for 13 years. But around about when I was 26, it kind of took a turn for the worse. About a year after that, I was trying everything. Literally any advice someone came up to me and gave, I was like, I'll try that.
Anything.
People peddling their multi-level marketing crap on the internet, I was like, I'll buy that, I'll try that. Literally anything. And I don't think there's anything wrong with particularly handing out that advice. It's important the way you word it, too.
Yeah.
Like, my friend has this, and this is what they did. I'm not saying that'll work for you, but if you haven't tried that...
It's worth a try. Look.
Because most likely they have tried that.
Yeah. It's the thing about somebody who's been chronically ill for a while. Pretty much anything that you suggest to them, they have tried that, and it did not work, or it...
Well, that's why you don't like the advice, because you feel like you're being called stupid, because it's like... How on earth could you possibly think I wouldn't have thought that maybe I needed some fucking exercise?
Yeah.
Hey, I'm fat. Maybe I should, eat a sandwich and fucking run. No, I never thought of that.
Go outside and get some extra... Yeah, like, that never crossed my mind.
Weird.
Try Tylenol. Really?
It's like my thing with depression. My dad just says, well, just think happy thoughts.
Oh, my God.
It's like Christ came back.
Oh, my
He's
gosh.
so smart.
You're right. I just smiled and it all went away. It was amazing. Yeah, it's not welcome. It's very condescending. It's very patronizing. And stop.
Sometimes it's just cruel.
Yeah.
Have you tried losing weight? My whole life.
Yeah.
That has
Only
been
since I was born.
My goal since the day I was born has been lose weight. It has never worked out for me.
No. Yeah, that was another thing that my dad recently said. I said that I was, still having the endometriosis and the PCOS stuff. And he said, well, have you tried losing weight? And I tried to explain to him that cycle of can't lose weight until this, and he just didn't get it. And he was like, well, I think if you just tried to lose weight, you'd be okay. And it's just, they don't understand.
No.
I don't know how to make a healthy person understand.
Because
sick,
everybody's been a teenager at some point in time and left the house, right? And everybody's gone through and broke this cycle somehow, but it's freaking hard and everybody needs help. But as soon as you leave the house, you have to fend for yourself. if you don't have a car, you can't get a job. If you don't have a job, you can't buy a car.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't have an address, you can't get a place to work. If you can't work, you can't have an address. Yeah, that is a...
If you don't have experience, you can't get this job.
Yeah.
But you can't get this job until you have 10 years of experience. And
Yeah, that's exactly how, like, you explain it to them. They're like, oh, I get that. Well, how did you get out of it? And if you think, like, I have a hard time remembering how I broke out of that cycle.
Mm-hmm.
But most people forget, like, how they got their first job. It was because they knew somebody that, like, helped them out.
Yeah.
Or they were living with their parents.
Yeah.
So they didn't have to worry about bills and shit.
Yeah. But it's still, even at that, it's still difficult to explain. Because I don't think, unless you see somebody who's chronically ill all the time, or you yourself become ill, I don't think you can get it.
Well, and I think a lot of that, too, has to do with... I'm not sure if this is the attitude in all first world countries. It's the pull yourself by your bootstraps stuff. It's just work harder.
And you'll get better.
No,
and
that's
sometimes
just the US.
Just work harder and things will improve.
And sometimes no.
That's, I wish that was the way things worked, because
Yeah.
my husband would be rich.
Yeah, because you were saying recently, you keep trying to get jobs because you like to work. You don't like being at home. But then every time you get a job, you get sick or you get injured or something, and then you just go right back to where you were. And it's not a pull yourself up by your bootstraps thing. You're trying.
Yeah.
You're desperately trying, but your body's just betraying you.
It's like I've repeatedly pulled myself up by my bootstraps, and then they launch into the... and they think this is helpful. Why don't you get disability? Let me help you with that. Which I do appreciate, but I've been really looking into the standards for getting disability.
And you have to be like a quadriplegic.
Well, and you have to have worked... There is a work requirement you have to meet for standard disability. Now, I can go for the Social Security. I can go for that. It's going to take a lawyer and a lot of time.
And money.
It's actually the lawyer that I am contacting does it for if you get money, then you pay.
Oh, that's cool.
Which, great. I'm pursuing that. But and then they, like, if I tell them, well, I can't get disability because I haven't worked 3 out of the past 10 years. Because every time I've gotten a job, I've ended up in the hospital a month later. And they act like I'm just giving excuses.
Yeah.
Which I guess is what it feels like to them.
But
My
it's the
favorite one
truth.
is where they're like, well, why don't you just try getting, like, a simple minimum wage job for the 3 months so you qualify? Well, great. Now I get 60% of a minimum wage that is crap anyway, because that's what disability pays, is like 50 to 60% of whatever your last job was.
And then I have to launch into we're on food stamps, and people hate that anyway, so they're already mad at me. Well, we're on food stamps. If I get a minimum wage job, I have to pay for gas, I have to pay for car maintenance, I have to find somewhere for my kids to go, and we lose our food stamps, my kids lose their Medicaid. So I actually end up losing money.
Yeah.
And when they were in daycare, I lost a lot of money, because daycare is like $400 a freaking week.
Jesus.
It's more than our rent.
Yeah.
So, and I feel thankful that people care enough to go, oh, well, let me help you with that. But I'm working on it, and I can't force it.
Wish you could just suddenly have disability.
And I know people that are in much worse situations than me that have been refused time and time again.
Yeah.
And, they have no metric for, okay, I'm chronically ill, but that's not what keeps me from working. It's the cataclysmic accidents
Fallouts that just suddenly happen.
My body freaking out that keep me from working. It's blood clots and broken legs. It's, I mean, being chronically ill, I'm sure would eventually take me out, but that's usually not what does it.
Yeah.
I don't know what to tell people.
Yeah.
Like, I'm trying.
Yeah.
Or another helpful bit of advice people give us is, why doesn't Steven just get a better job?
Again.
Why don't we all just get better jobs?
We all just get...
Man, god dang, if that was,
It's like the people who say, well, if you hate Texas so much, move out of Texas. Do you know how much it costs to move?
Or live anywhere besides... Cleburne is such a crappy
or move somewhere
town.
you don't already have a job set up. Like, if I could just, like, appear and, like, people are like, if you hate the medical system here and you hate Trump so much and all, why don't you just move out of the country? I totally would. If I could just, like, be like, bing, I'm in Canada, F you guys. I would totally do it. But
Yeah.
guess what? You got to find a job out there.
You gotta find a house. You gotta get a passport. You gotta.
And that's why I wish they would just, immigrate legally. Why don't they do that? Because it's god dang impossible. That's why.
It's very expensive, very time consuming. I can't
decide if I'm offended that people don't offer me unsolicited advice or not. They just forget my legs don't work and send me invites to hikes and pub crawls and shit.
Oh, that's bad. I don't know. I have seen where there was a girl who, she has a wheelchair. She doesn't always need the wheelchair, but sometimes she does. And she said that the days that she's in the wheelchair, people are like, oh, what can we do to help? Oh, it's so amazing. And then the day that she doesn't need it, they accuse her of faking it. Like, you don't need the wheelchair. Why are you even in there yesterday? That kind of thing. And I don't, just, people are just, they don't get it.
Oh my God. I can relate to something.
What?
Okay, so back when, hopefully my ex-wife's not watching, but back when I was married, right, I used to be, shamed about using the little cart thing, like at Walmart or whatever,
Little
and
scooters.
sometimes, my back would hurt. No one's using it or whatever, and, I do have, a gimp foot or whatever, but she'd be like, no, that's for people that really need it. Yeah, you can walk. So, I just got, in this mindset about, no, don't use the gimp cart, it's horrible, right?
I won't use it.
Well, so my foot was screwed up a couple of weeks ago, and I finally that's the first time in years I've driven on it or whatever, and I just felt crappy the whole time, but I legitimately had something wrong with my foot.
Yeah.
I didn't even use it when my foot was broken or when my leg was broken. I was like, I can't do it. I can't do it because people look at me weird.
Yeah.
I like when Sarah took the wheelchair on the ghost walk.
And I just pushed you around the whole time.
and you were our cripple psychic.
Yes. Yes. Because I kept
She's
just
staring at the wall.
wheeling off and just staring in random directions. But I don't like that either because I do own a wheelchair because if I have a really bad RA flare, my knees don't work. Mm-hmm. They won't bend properly and they won't straighten. And I got it with full intent to be like, okay, if let's say I'm going to go to a convention and I'm having a flare, this way I can still go. Mm-hmm. This way I'm not taken out of it. But then when it came down to the wire, I wouldn't do it. Because I was like, people are going to, what if I have to stand up to do something?
And people are going to think you were faking it the
people
whole
are going to
time.
think I'm a fraud.
Yeah. I didn't even use it when I first got out of the hospital, and I couldn't feel my legs at all. You misspelled psychic.
You're not a psychic if you can't spell a psychic.
Yeah.
I also can't see that far. So.
Well, maybe quit making comments then.
Yeah, Brad.
God. Yeah, I hate the wheelchair thing, because so many people are in wheelchairs because they can walk, but it's going to give them more issue to do it.
If I walk, then my back will get janked up, and then I really will need the wheelchair. Yeah, it's preventative.
Yeah.
And
it's just, I have a hard time with people assuming so much from just initially seeing someone. Mm-hmm. I was talking to a lady online that was talking about undocumented people, and she was like, well, there was a Hispanic lady in front of me in line, and I know she was a undocumented immigrant and was mooching my taxpayer money even though she's illegal. I was like, all from the visualization
yeah,
of her.
how do you know
Yes.
she's illegal?
All from seeing her.
Yes.
So you see someone in a wheelchair get up to do something, and you immediately know that they can walk, and they're just effing with you.
Yeah.
It's all a big joke.
It makes me think about the people who would park in disabled parking spots, and they don't have what you could see any disability, so people would leave them nasty notes about them being in the wrong spot, and then people would say, I have a nerve disorder or something. You can't see it. It's still a disability, and I still have the parking plates for it or the sticker for it. And
it makes me twisted when people get mad about parking in the handicap spot when they don't have the stickers. Because those spots aren't just for people that have the stickers. If I had my foot screwed up, it's a temporary thing. But if your leg's broke,
yeah,
that's there for you also. And so I've parked in that spot before and come back and my car is freaking keyed. And I actually used to have a handicap placard or whatever, but I'll forget to put it up on the mirror or whatever, and somebody will leave a nasty note or whatever. I was like, you, dude.
Yeah.
I worry about my mom doing that because she's got a placard because she's had a billion back surgeries, and some days she has a hard time walking because it causes, Dane's talking about her legs being numb. One of her legs goes numb, and she can't and she just had a knee replacement, but you can't visually tell these things from looking at her. I'm like, this is going to end badly.
Yeah, somebody's going to cuss her out for being, you're not really disabled, you're just cheating.
Because people decide that it's their business.
Yeah, which again kind of goes back to the unwelcome thing of, it's not your business, I did not ask you, and you are not welcome here. No, Brad.
Oh, now that's stuck in my head.
God. Here we are trying to be serious.
I know. Diets are another one that people... Well, I love this one. Have you tried
Going vegan.
gluten-free?
Oh, God.
Have
Don't you feel better when you're gluten-free?
Don't you feel better when you're gluten-free? Well, let me tell you.
A little story.
No, I don't. No. I did that for 3 years.
And I felt way worse.
I felt just as bad. And at the end of that, my doctor was like, turns out you don't have celiac disease. And then I murdered him.
Or you only wish you did.
Via donuts. I just jammed delicious donuts
donut
in
holes.
his face. Because you know what? You can't make gluten-free proper donuts.
You know what's funny? We completely annexed a friend we were talking to because of that specific comment. Like, we were walking around
hanging out with
Trinity
somebody.
River, and they're like, I'm going to go... Don't you feel better when you're gluten-free?
And I was like, I can't talk to you anymore. We're not friends.
Like, nope, bye.
I hate you.
Yeah.
And so some people have celiac disease. I have a lot of friends that have celiac disease because I thought I had it for a really long time, so I made friends in that community. They've turned into some of my best friends. That's where I found Dane.
No.
And yes, that does help some people.
But not all people.
These diets you're peddling, like Allie went vegan. That's helping her. But
Yippee.
she doesn't go up to people and she's like, vegan fixed me, so you go vegan too. I will gladly tear apart anyone who says anything about gluten-free.
I will murder you.
Well,
Apparently, they haven't heard about the healing power of Krispy Kreme.
see, I like gluten, though.
Yeah.
Vegan diet, gluten-free,
Paleo.
taking out
keto.
processed food.
Yeah. No sugars. That kind of thing.
There's so many, and just for some people, if you have food sensitivities or issues, maybe that is a thing you should do.
Give
But
it a try. Why not?
if you don't have an issue, you're just stressing yourself.
Yeah.
And especially people that tell me to go on a diet. Like, I've got gastroparesis. I can only eat 5 things anyway. I did a whole year of nothing but salmon and applesauce.
Ugh.
Yeah, it wasn't fun. But part of me wants to just keep a documentation of everything I've tried, so when someone is helpful, I
You
can
just
be
put
like,
the folder down that's
Yes.
like 5 inches thick.
I'll
Just
add
here's
that to
all
the
the
Spoon
things.
app.
Yeah. Here's all the things I have tried. Blum.
here's all the things I haven't tried. Virgin sacrifice. Everything short of voodoo.
It's like, it goes to the doctor thing too. Like, have you ever tried telling your doctor blah? I have. They didn't listen to me. Or, you know, if you want it that badly, just go tell them you want it. I have. I don't know what you want me to do. And they just don't get it.
Why don't you just get a hysterectomy?
Yeah.
I'll get right on that.
Let me give you a call in 20 years when they allow that. Yeah. It's really exhausting because I'm just thinking about all the times people have offered me something. Like when I was complaining about my cramps because of the endo, and somebody said, have you tried Midol? I was like, really? Midol? I could eat that entire bottle and it would not do anything.
Midol is awesome for hangovers.
It's just such an inane answer. Like,
I know. Have you tried? I'm going to stop you there. Yes. And shut up.
I went to the hospital.
Shut up.
I went to the hospital for my hand at one point, and they're like, well, go home and take Tylenol. I was like, if Tylenol was working, do you think I'd be in the ER?
Yeah. Doctors have to listen to women for that to work.
Yeah.
That's the main problem.
They have to listen, period.
Yeah.
I hate to say it, but they do that to men, too. Like, when
Yeah.
I went in for my foot problem, and it ended up not being, like, super serious or whatever. But I was trying to explain to them, like, hey, I'm actually in a lot of pain. Like, I need something, and they're like, oh, just go home. And I gave them the benefit of a doubt. I'm like, okay, well, it's not broken, whatever. And then I went home, and the pain got worse, and the swelling went up. And I wasn't, like, trying to get pain meds, or, I didn't think, but, they said, if the pain gets worse, or it starts to swell unreasonably, you should come back. So I followed that advice, and then they looked at me like I was an idiot. Like, why would you come back? We're still going to give you the same diet. You said if it got worse, come see
back.
you.
They say that is a matter of CYA.
Yeah.
Gout.
It wasn't gout.
It wasn't gout.
I had, okay, yeah. Have you asked him if it's gout? I have had 3,000 people, like, when I was going
It
back.
could be gout.
Going back to the thing, they're like, oh, you think it's gout? Yeah.
You thought it was gout.
It was the first thing I asked him. I was like, "Is it gout?" Oh, please tell me it's not gout. I don't eat that much salami.
I don't eat that much organ meat. Everyone needs a champion when they go to the doctor. I am my husband's. Unfortunately, I also am mine.
He's adorably soft.
Yeah, my husband is not who I'm going to take if I want someone standing for me.
I learned that the last time. I've taken you and Allie, and I've taken Aaron. I can't take Aaron anymore because he just backs up the doctor, even though he clearly was there for what was going on. Oh, there's Aaron. He's trying to pawn it off on
future doctor. Yeah.
Yeah, Aaron, you're really bad at being a...
But Brad did just not all men us.
Yeah, not
if,
all
if
men.
doctors listen to women, well, that happens to men too. We do understand that happens to men too, but statistically...
It's worse for women.
Oh,
It's worse
I
for women.
agree. I'm just saying.
Bone spurs.
I'm just saying all
bet it's
lives
gout.
matter. And if I need somebody to back me up at the doctor, I'm taking Sarah's mom.
Yeah.
She is
Yeah.
a bulldog.
I wish my mom lived closer because
And
she
she-
was a bitch when I'd take her to the hospital.
Sarah's mom is also a liar to get you what you need too, because Sarah was there. Something was going on. They're like, "Hey, she's autistic." Just like what?
Yeah, that time Mom told the doctor I was autistic. Because I don't like him talking to me.
Yeah.
That solved the problem. That solved it real fast.
Cherry soda cured her gout. Have you tried cherry soda?
Do you soak your foot in that or do you drink it? I need to know for science.
Bathe in it.
I did cure my athlete's foot by soaking my foot in bleach.
Oh, gosh.
It got rid of it in 2 freaking nights.
We have a new comment that I can't see. Show me that comment.
Add herbal tea to the list of things you tried. Yeah, the herbal
I
tea
tried herbal
didn't
tea.
fix anything, but it was delicious. In purple. It was very purple.
Purple tea.
Yes, it was very cool.
See, everyone's now saying try CBD oils.
Yeah.
And I don't even know if that's legalized here yet.
CBD oil is legal. The problem is it can show up on a drug test as marijuana.
Gotcha.
Because since it's not regulated, there could be THC in it. Like, you don't know exactly what you're getting.
Because I know when I went to visit my dad this last weekend or whatever, in Oklahoma, it is legal there now. They have, like, weed shops set up everywhere. And I was like, heck yeah, when is that coming to Texas? But then again, that's one of those things everyone says, have you tried weed? And for some people, it may not do anything. It may just make them nauseous.
Everyone's talking about my mom. My mom also worked in the medical profession for 30 years, and she trained most of the doctors in the area. Mm-hmm. So
she's kind of got a...
It's a good line in to use.
Yeah.
But, yeah, the CBD, the weed thing. So when I had the last surgery on my arm, I went in to ask him to up my meds, and my mom was there with me. So she posed the question to him, what about CBD oil? Mm-hmm. And he said because it's newer here, it's not regulated, that he doesn't think it's likely, but I could potentially test positive for THC, and if that happens, there's no excuse I can give them. I'm red flagged. I can no longer see a pain doctor.
Yeah.
The other thing is I've tried marijuana repeatedly.
It did not help.
It makes me anxious. It makes me puke.
Yeah.
It does not help my pain.
See, I tried it, and it helped slightly, but not enough for it to be worth it because it tastes bad. It hurt my throat, and then it just made me tired. And so if I was to balance out all of that with the tiny bit of alleviation, it wasn't worth it. So
and I do think it needs to be legal because then people like me who have had issues with it could go in and be like, this is what I have. Mm-hmm. I'd like to try something for that. And, be able to try different things. Cherries are known to help gout, and I love THC, so I tried marijuana Rainier cherry soda, and it was amazing for my gout.
You know what else is good for gout? not eating
Liver.
Reuben sandwiches like every freaking day.
I'm not sure what Aaron is trying to say there. Not legal, but Tarrant County DA said we won't push it if you don't make us.
Yeah, he's talking
Marijuana.
about CBD. It's CBD isn't 100% legal.
Mm-hmm.
It is if you're a cancer patient and it's prescribed. You can get certain strains of generic CBD because like it doesn't count. But like her doctor was saying, and I was saying earlier, like some of it's not regulated, so you can end up getting stuff that makes you fail for something else. Like you can get edibles in a shot, like a
Well, Catherine
a
just
retail shop.
Catherine just sent me not legal in Tarrant, and someone got busted for THC or CBD. Sorry, CBD.
Ellie
THC
said
is
it's sold here, but it's a big fat felony in Tarrant County.
That's kind of ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was talking about Texas
As a
general.
whole,
yeah. Different places
Yeah.
are gonna have different rules. So.
But this has become everyone's battle cry. Have you tried marijuana? Because
Mm-hmm.
I'm on opiates.
Well, that's everybody's silver
And
bullet. Now.
Everybody's so just balls deep in this opiate crisis. Oh, you got to stop taking those and do this. But that doesn't work for me.
Yeah, it's different for everybody.
I am
Just like anything else.
I'm a proponent of legalizing marijuana. I do think it is helpful for a majority of people. But
For you specifically,
you can't take away from one to give to the other. You don't need to.
There's a state that's pushing to get the magic mushrooms
Yeah,
legalized
I
too,
saw that.
because they said if it's natural, like their reasoning behind it is because it's like existing in nature, like it grows or whatever, and they said it shouldn't be illegal because of that. Like heroin, like you have to process
Yeah.
and do stuff to it.
Refined drug versus.
Yeah, I kind of agree with it, and I really want to take like microdoses of magic mushrooms and stuff, see if it helps with
Using super
anxiety.
hot spice rub on Jordan Flame Head.
hot spice rub. Get some slap your mama and
That's not
Capsaicin.
yeah, that's not completely dumb.
Yeah.
Like,
No,
like
it's
I've
just-
got a capsaicin.
I don't think
spray
I'm thinking you probably shouldn't just go buy Tabasco
and then just rub it on.
from the store. But yeah, capsaicin is in a lot of pain relieving creams.
Yeah.
Capsaicin and menthol are the two that are common.
Yeah.
I
Yeah, I've
love
seen the
rubbing
menthol
icy
being
hot on my
anything.
private parts.
You're so gross. Weed doesn't fix.
Oh God.
Go ahead.
Weed doesn't fix my pain, but it helps me cope, and I prefer it personally. All for legalization, but when I tried pot, it gave me panic attacks
Yeah,
for
that's-
5 or more hours. Opiates are the only thing that help me with my nerve pain, but no one will give me any, so I just get 24/7 pain. But we have legal weed, so I stay stoned enough that I don't care. Yeah.
And the only reason I get pain meds is because I started going before
Crisis.
before the craziness ensued.
Yeah.
But a lot of people's helpful advice is you need to get off those meds. I had a doctor DC my home meds. You don't need to be on all those meds. You'll get better if you stop taking them.
Like, why do you think I'm on them in the first place? I want you to think about this.
Because you don't just go see a pain doctor. Like, you got to get a referral. You have to have a good reason to be there. Even if your insurance allows you to see a specialist without a referral, you still have to have one, at least here, to go to a pain doctor.
Yeah, you can't just walk in the front door and be like, "Hey, I need some Percocet."
Yeah, it
Yeah.
just doesn't work like that. And they generally start you on non-narcotic options, and then they'll put you on the lowest narcotic option, and then they go up from there. But now they're just not giving anything to anyone.
Yeah, and that's causing a lot of people to go, well, then bye, because...
I was so mad when I went to the hospital, and they're like, "Okay, we're gonna write you a." They're like, "Do you want something for the pain?" And I was like, "Yeah." And they're like, "Okay, we'll write you this and something else for inflammation." And I was like, "Okay, well, I'm not really hurting that much, but the pain's getting bad enough. Maybe I have to be hurting really bad to take pain kit. Like you can ask Sarah. Like I just don't take them because the side effects of it for
He
me.
gets a rebound migraine.
Yeah, like huge. So I just don't do it. So I got to be hurting pretty bad to accept a prescription for like even Ultram or something like. And I thought that's what they were writing me, and I was so pissed because I looked at it and it's like a prescription for naproxen. I'm like, I don't need you to write me a prescription for
For a
this.
leave.
I'm like, thanks. And then what made me even more mad is I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna have to escalate this in a week because they referred me to a orthopedic surgeon if it didn't get any better, and I'm like, all right, but the only way they're going to take me seriously is if I go ahead and I take the naproxen and I do all the stuff they told me to. Took the naproxen, the swelling of my foot just immediately went away.
It actually helped.
All the freaking pain was gone in like 2 days. God damn it.
Yeah, Chris.
I swear it's like they're trying to get people to go, fuck it, time to buy heroin off the street to control my pain. That's actually, when my pain doctor sat me down and told me about the new regulations, he said, to my face, this is going to drive people into the black market and to suicide.
Yeah.
He was distraught. He was like, I don't know what I'm going to do. People who are not doctors should not be making these rules.
It's like the abortion thing. They made it illegal or harder to get to, so people just started doing at-home abortions and then killing themselves. So, I mean, you're just making it more dangerous. At least have the option there.
And you're not going to get rid of the black market for drugs. That's not a thing. Because they're lowering the amount of drugs produced in order to get rid of people diverting prescriptions. So taking them and selling them. But that's not
the majority.
The people who are taking them and selling them, they're not the kind of people that are going to the pain doctor every month.
No.
They're getting them somewhere else because
they're stealing them from their grandma when she's not looking.
And you have to drug test if you go to a pain doctor. You have to have the drugs in your system. You're not.
So if you're selling them, obviously you've not been taking them. So obviously you're not going to pass the test.
And it's just more of that helpful advice. Stop taking these only things that help you because I think that's the right thing for you to do.
Yeah. Follow the money. Private prisons. Conspiracy.
Shut up, sheeple.
You believe in the moon?
Just the people that live inside it.
But yeah, the war on drugs has damaged chronic pain patients badly.
Anybody who's terminally ill, they're screwed too because they're already dying. Now they have to die in pain.
In more pain, yeah.
Like they were dying anyway. Just let them overdose. What does it matter? Well, they might become addicted. They're dying. What does it matter?
Oh no, I got addicted for 2 months before I died.
Yeah. Oh no, what a shame. It's just so stupid.
I'd love to try other strains, but it's not legal. Yeah, that's the problem.
In legal non-regulation, and you get random stuff in your stuff.
Yeah, you're buying whatever the dealer has. So it could be whatever.
It's baby aspirin crushed up into the cocaine and then a little bit of sugar.
The last time I smoked weed, I found out afterwards it had angel dust in it. I was not happy. Apparently that was a wild night.
I would have been happy. See, then you get more bang for your buck. I just thought I bought weed. Instead, I got a massive dose of fentanyl. I'd be like,
this was
apparently I tried to ride the top of our van. I don't remember much.
It seems like a thing you do sober.
Yeah.
Me? No.
Yeah.
I think we've gotten off topic. We need to steer back.
Sorry.
No, we don't.
Unhelpful advice.
Yeah. I mean, that's part of it. Politicians going, you know what? We need to fix this. We're going to make opiates harder to get. We did not ask for your advice.
Thanks, Jeff.
Thanks. You have now ruined everyone.
Well, that's like on the severe end of this. Is your advice? I mean, people are killing themselves over this. Mm-hmm. You don't want to be that straw that breaks that camel's back.
Yeah. You don't want to be the person that goes, you know what? You should try exercise. I'm going to take your pain pills away and make you go exercise. Well, now she's dead on the street because you didn't have her pills.
Well, and sometimes people being condescending like that can break you. Like, I've tried to do everything I can do, and this person's just this thing. And if they think that I haven't been trying, obviously that's what they think, then I'm just going to give up.
Yeah.
Because if you already think I'm not trying, I might as well not.
Yeah.
How many spoons does unwanted advice take up?
All of them.
To sit there and listen to it?
At least 2.
Immediately ruins my day, so I'd say all of them. The day that I said, I'm hurting today, and I don't want to get out of bed, and that person said, well, you need to get out of bed, you need to get dressed and come outside with me. I was like, I will fucking kill you.
But
I am already done.
Have you tried Reiki massage?
God. I'm just people's... what did you do?
I clicked the wrong thing. Don't worry about that.
The other thing is, if someone's doing something and you give them unwelcome advice and they follow it, you're not a doctor. You could be hurting them.
Yeah, especially with trying different medications or whatever. That may hurt that person. You don't know.
That's why we have a disclaimer now.
Yeah.
I could never exercise without pain pills and muscle. Yeah.
Yeah. That's the thing, is that everyone always says to manage your pain, you need to lose weight. And to lose weight, you have to exercise.
Manage your pain?
And I'm like, I can't exercise because it hurts. And so I had somebody tell me if you do crunches, it will help with your endo. I'm like, that's the opposite of what crunches do. And they fully believe it. They fully believe telling you to go do crunches is going to help your endo. They don't get it. It's just exhausting. It is so exhausting.
And it depends, like, where the person's coming from. Because I've had family members that have given me advice. And honestly, I'm just appreciative that they're not, insisting that I'm lying anymore, or making it up.
Exaggerating.
Which, I'll take over you don't actually hurt that bad.
Yeah.
Which was another thing we were talking about. Is people being super condescending. Well, if you hurt that bad, you wouldn't be able to do this. Yeah. If you hurt that bad, you wouldn't be able to function. A big part of med school should be practicing good bedside. Yeah.
Not breaking your patient's mental state.
I mean, just as dangerous as fucking up the medical aspect. And so many doctors just blow you off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was having a conversation with a friend of mine. She has endometriosis really bad. She's had multiple surgeries, and she's trying to get pregnant. And she had a doctor say, well, we're going to put you on that thing that goes in your arm, the birth control, whatever.
Yeah. And
then in 6 months come back, and if it's not helped, we're going to take it out and do another surgery. And she went back to that doctor, and they just blew her off completely and said, well, keep it in for another year. And so she kept it in for another year, and then she went back just like last week, and they're like, give it 6 more months. She's like, no, take this thing out and do the surgery. But they just blew her off and sent her home and said, if you need to get that done, just call a fertility treatment center and just try to get on that. Like, wow, way to completely blow off your patient.
Yeah, it's one thing when normal people do that, but it's another thing when it's the medical profession.
The person who's supposed to be helping you.
Yeah.
Doesn't care.
I've had doctors say, oh, you're saying your pain's a 9, it couldn't possibly be a 9, or you wouldn't be talking to me calmly.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's not the way pain works.
You're a doctor. You should know this. And I will never forget that freaking ER doctor saying, I don't know nothing about that woman stuff.
I don't know nothing about that woman
never
stuff.
leave my mind. You are a doctor. You should know about half of the population. Yeah. You should know this. Yeah, swimming is lovely. It always makes me feel so much better. But, sometimes you can't swim.
Yeah, I'm nowhere near a pool.
I have one at my apartment complex, but it's been closed because it's been winter. So
yeah. Not everyone has a pool alley.
Yeah, Allie, you rich person. How could you? Yeah, so there's unwelcome advice from parents and friends, other people who know this other person who has that, your own doctor, and then there's people who have the same thing as you, and then they say, well, it helped me, how come it didn't help you? And then you got to explain that not everyone is the same, and
a lot of people that have the same illness think that because theirs is at a certain level, yours must be too.
Yeah.
Like,
well, mine's not that bad. How is yours that bad?
Like, I have RA and Julie has RA. Mm-hmm. She's had RA a lot longer than me. It's markedly worse. There are different levels. Mm-hmm. Like, I have CRPS. There's other people that have CRPS. Some people have it in their entire body. You can't judge someone based on
your diagnosis.
Yeah, your diagnosis.
Yeah.
It's not the same as theirs.
Yeah. Where did he get his degree out of McDonald's dumpster?
Yeah, basically.
That's what he felt like. But yeah, it's even with people with the same diagnosis, that doesn't mean, two people having depression is completely different, and 2 people having RA is completely different. And if you walk in and say, well, I have endo and she has endo and I can walk around for an hour, so you're just faking it, you're exaggerating. Well, no, maybe her endo is way worse.
And we get to our most helpful advice at all. Well, others have it worse.
Oh God. Yeah, but it's always worse other places.
You shouldn't be that upset because other people have it worse. I don't know where that mentality came from.
Like that's supposed to make you happy.
Yeah.
Well, I hurt. Well, Karen's dying of cancer. You're right. I feel so much better now.
Yeah.
And Karen.
All it does is add guilt, and then you feel guilty for hurting.
Well, yeah, it got to a point where I was scared to say anything because I was like, I feel like I'm complaining about having
Nothing.
a cold in a cancer ward.
Yeah.
Like, it makes it to where then you can't talk about it.
I saw the reverse thing, though. Somebody was saying, whenever people start saying that to you from now on, respond with, well, why are you smiling? He's over there and he's got $1 billion. You shouldn't be happy. And so, like, oh, you can't be happy because someone else is happier? You can't be sad because someone else is sadder. That's not how that works.
Same logic train, though.
Yeah.
I have fibro, I have endometriosis, and PCOS, but my experience is completely different than anyone else's. I want to mouth punch every person who says other people have it worse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some people, they have a disease that messes up all of their life, and then other people just go, well, it hurts me sometimes. You don't know. Just because you have the same diagnosis.
And even pain that hurts at the same level isn't received the same. And it's so subjective.
Which is, one thing we wanted to talk about eventually on here is the pain scale thing at hospitals and how it's so messed up because...
I never can think of a 1 to 10.
Yeah, and your 10 may always change, and what was a 10 is now a 3, and now you have a new 10.
I feel it's totally ruined the... Well, all I have experience locally, it's totally ruined the hospital system.
It has.
But that deserves its own episode.
I have more than 10 painful things that have happened to me. I need a new scale.
You just need pictures. You just show one's like a cow sitting on you, and one's just a meat grinder. And
I like the one that's got bees.
Oh yeah,
it's a 10 bees.
Bees.
But that oh so helpful advice of other people have it better, and just try harder.
Yeah. Because you need to work harder to feel better.
That's really what it all boils down to. Mm-hmm. Try this next thing. Try this next thing.
Have you tried blah? Well, I'm better than you because I tried blah.
Have you tried granola?
I do enjoy some granola.
Yes.
One person's 3 might be another person's 9. At 9, everyone's pain tolerance is different. It's not something you can compare between different people. Yeah. And that's the thing about specifically fibromyalgia is it makes you more responsive to pain. Mm-hmm. It makes your pain signals stronger. So someone thumping you might hurt like someone else getting punched.
Yeah.
It throws that all completely out of whack. So you can't tell somebody else they don't hurt. That's not the way that works.
Yeah. Your advice is not welcome here. Get out. I will punch you in the mouth. Yeah, mind over matter. Yeah. If that worked, then we'd all be okay because I'm sure all of us could go, you know what? I am going to buck up and get out there today.
You know what? Not to defend that because that is annoying hearing that, but there is truth to that because my anxiety is really bad. But the only thing that drugs don't get me through it, nothing gets me through it except just like zoning in and getting through it. I mean,
and some things, yeah.
And the placebo effect is real. There is a mind over matter effect. Your mind can override pain stuff, but people just generically handing that advice out because they heard it one time, like it's just something everybody can freaking do, and there's different levels of it. Like,
I can ignore a headache. I can mind over matter that crap.
Like if I get kneecapped by the mob and I just think happy thoughts, I don't think it's gonna make me ever walk again.
Yeah.
But there. If I have the man flu, mind over matter might if somebody's like, hey, suck it up, you're just doing the man flu thing.
The man flu is valid.
Yeah.
Estrogen helps, improve the flu.
Mm-hmm.
Ashley says she can't hear you well.
Well, I'm not saying anything interesting anyway.
You never are.
Aw. But yeah, there is some truth to it of the mind over matter, but it's not going to work for everyone on everything. And
used to, I could fake it till I made it. Mm-hmm. Like when I was first sick, the first 5 years I was sick, I was still working. I wasn't just working. I was working and going to school. And for a while I was pregnant, taking care of a kid, working and going to school. All while already having RA, endometriosis, and PCOS. That was me then. This is me now.
Yeah.
Like
the mind over matter thing did not make you better.
No, I woke up every morning and I went, I will get through this day. It'll be great. It'll be fine. I had a better... I never had a good attitude, but I was able to just pretend. Yeah, I could pretend I was okay until I felt okay enough to make it through the day. But it seems like in the end, that cost me.
Yeah.
Because at one point, I just broke. I was going to school. I just had Andrew I had the hand incident, and I tried to go back to what I'd been doing before, and it just didn't work anymore.
And then that breaks your mind because, well, you had this great outlook and it didn't help anything. So
why try?
Why would I even attempt it now?
And honestly, if you had some magical bullet advice, people would already be doing that.
Mm-hmm.
The things that work, people already do.
Can't stand being breathed on.
There's actually, I forget allodonia is a symptom with like CRPS where anything from like a light brush of wind hurts. Because Andrew was watching a video about a lady that had CRPS, and he was like, well, why is she always wrapped up in blankets? So I'm like, because, even a puff of wind hurts when you're like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Side topic. But, so helpful things. If someone is helped by diet and exercise, I promise they're already doing that. If pain pills help somebody, they're already doing that or they're trying. If weed helps somebody,
been taken off of them.
Yeah, if weed helps somebody, they're probably pursuing that.
Mm-hmm.
If there is something that works for this person, they're already a diet. They're already doing it.
Mm-hmm.
If you've been sick more than 6 months, you've probably tried most of the things.
I know that everyone always offers up for specifically like endo and PCOS stuff. There's probably a list of 10 things that people have thrown at me that I have tried every single one of those things multiple times. And it gets to a point that someone will say, have you tried blah? And I'll just say, no, I haven't. I guess I'll try that next. Because it gets exhausting telling someone, yes, I have tried it. No, it didn't work for me. Yeah, I'm sorry, your cousin, it worked with her, but it doesn't work for me. So you just get to a point that you just say, no, I haven't. I guess I'll try.
That's what I do too. I'm like, no, but I'll try that.
Yeah. Like, have you tried going out in the sun? No, I haven't, but I'll try
I'll do that tomorrow.
Yeah, it's just... Yeah, it's one of the most exhausting things is dealing with people who don't understand and think that they do, and it's just tiresome.
And they want to equate it to other things. Well, I had the flu for a week. So I know what you feel like. Brad did that to me once. He came in, he and Allie were dating, and he sat down when I had that couch in my bedroom, and he went, I've been puking for 3 days, so I know what you feel like. Which, he retracted because he's not a jerk, and he didn't mean it that way. But so many people believe that.
Yeah.
I threw up for 3 days, so I know what it's like to throw up every day for 2 years.
No, you don't.
No, yeah, that is totally not what I meant by it. It was like, before, I could never... imagine what it felt like to constantly puke. For 3 days, I had a very good idea what it's like to constantly puke, and having to do that for 2 years straight would be effing horrible.
It's like the people that...
Thanks for calling me out.
The people that I was talking about before we started the podcast was whenever you explain to specifically a man what it feels like to have a cyst burst. And they say that it's about the same as being kicked in the balls. And so you're like, being on a period and having a cyst burst, I guess it's the same as getting kicked in the nads. And then
you did the math on this.
Yeah, I did the math on that. And they were saying, let's see, I got a picture here now. Because the math of it is that a woman, on average, spends 6.25 years of her life, in total, 6.25 years of her life, on a period. Now imagine a woman who is having cyst bursts all the time. So 6 years of constant cyst bursting. So if you want to compare it to being kicked in the nads, go get kicked in the nads for 6 years straight. And then...
or at least 3 to 7 days out of every month.
Go get kicked in the nads for 24 hours a day for a week out of every month for about 40 years of your life.
That's nothing. I once threw up for 3 solid days.
So it makes me really mad when they're like, well, it's like getting kicked in the nads. Do you get kicked in the nads every hour of a week, of a month for 30? It's not the same thing.
No. And the pain might initially be the same, because I've talked about this with Steven. Mm-hmm. The pain of having like a cyst burst does seem a lot like the nad kick, but it keeps going.
Yeah, for a week at a time, and then you got to look forward to that next month, and you look forward to that for 30-something years, and yeah, it does sound awful.
My manic episodes carry through my bad endo pain. I do have a easier time coping with pain if I'm on the manic side of depressed.
Yeah, I do that too. if I'm feeling like I gotta clean and I gotta do this and I'm having anxiety and blah, I can kind of ignore it.
And Chris hates making eye contact. It hurts, and you don't like being touched. That's because you're autistic, hon.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
Can't maintain.
Did you say artistic?
Autistic.
Artistic.
I find that with eye contact, it helps if you stare at their eyebrows. That way you aren't looking at their eyes.
Just like,
I hate
yeah.
people that actually try to make eye contact, and then you can tell the very second they realize they can't look into both of your eyes at the same time, and they start doing the same thing. Because like they're looking at you, and there's a normal conversation, and all of a sudden they kind of gloss over, and they're like, it doesn't compute.
You know, that's one thing I don't miss about ovaries is cysts blowing up.
Yeah, they happen to me all the time. I had one do it the other day because I stretched. All I did was I stretched my arms over my head. And then there are days, like back in college, the first time it happened is I was playing tennis with somebody. And I reached to get the ball, and one burst in. And it's always something stupid. It's always, I was bending over to get a trash can.
Yeah, see, the worst one I had, I was reaching to get toilet paper.
Yeah, that worst one, I was just stretching, and I was like, why?
Look, Sarah, you helped somebody.
Kristen helped with that, about the nad kicking.
Oh, yeah.
No, they're talking about the eyebrow thing.
Oh, the eyebrow thing. Yeah, that's eyebrow or ear. Whatever, just make it look like you're looking at them in the eyes.
I would look right here, like on the bridge of their nose.
You're running over, by the way.
Oh. Well,
I'm
Boo.
trying to get your attention for like 10 minutes.
I ignore you because I hate you.
Yeah.
I know.
So did we cover everything? We got the spoon theory and the other alternates to that, and we've gotten your unwelcome advice and why you should stop it.
And the condescension and you can't possibly feel that bad.
Yeah. So we got everything. We just kind of...
I'm not sure what we're doing next week yet.
Not yet, no.
I think we should do the pain scale and how it's ruined
Hospitals?
the way hospitals operate.
We can do that.
I don't know. We'll see.
Look at this. We got a list. We'll look at the list.
I want to
We
do
can
my...
talk about how Jeff Sessions looks like a butt goblin.
God.
I wanted to do the super political one, but I think y'all poo-pooed on that.
Yeah, I can't be there for that one. I'll get too angry, and I can't be on camera.
Oh,
just
no,
furious.
not anger.
No, I just don't like to be on camera furious because I'm like, and
Your face gets all red.
it does. I'm
He
so
starts
mad.
doing the Rush Limbaugh voice.
I'm like, yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. So, if anyone has show suggestions, we would love to hear those.
I've got one. We should stop doing the show.
So, I was wrapping up and you interrupted, and now it's going to take longer.
Yeah.
Look at how that works.
Now, do you see what happens on my podcast? Everybody's like, "What's Brad get so flustered?" Because people talk.
Thanks for tuning in, everybody. We'll see you next week. Bye.